What is going on, everybody? Sorry for the delay in videos posting. We've been really busy here on the property, and one of those things we've been doing is growing grass, or trying to grow grass. In this video, what we're going to be doing is hooking up that 2-inch trash pump from Harbor Freight to a normal sprinkler system. I didn't know if you could do this, so I looked up on YouTube and I started looking around online, and people were doing it, but they kind of left out that little important part, like what is needed to do it, and can this pump do it without any additional adjustments to the pump. So of course the big thing that comes to mind is this thing pushes a massive amounts of water in relation to what a normal hose does, but the water pressure doesn't seem to be different. Now, I didn't know if you could block the pump on the water pump and still have it run, like if there was a bypass valve, or I still don't. However, I do know that this does work without any modification to the actual pump housing itself. You will need a couple little pieces, and I'll show you what I did. It's Frankenstein, so bear with me, but if you have a better way of doing this, go ahead and post them down in the comments. We're going from a 2-inch hose down to a normal garden hose, which might be like 5/8 garden hose, which is your normal garden hose. So I went down to the parts store and I put together this Frankenstein. All right, so what we have here is a Frankenstein. If you look at this, this thing seems crazy, but it actually does a lot that I need it to. So first off, it's good for when I'm putting chemicals or wanting to spray the pond. I did it earlier. It's like a fire hose, man. I'll tell you what, this thing shot all the way across the pond. But let me go over what this is, so you guys could possibly go and pick this up and build something like this yourself. This is a 2-inch standard adapter with a screw. It is the only thread size that I've seen, so this just screwed right onto the tip. No questions asked, so don't worry about the thread on that. But this is a 2-inch female coupler, and then you got a 2-inch reducer down to an 1.5 inch reducer. And then the next piece here is a 1.5 inch reducer down to a 3/4 inch reducer. The 3/4 inch reducer is a threaded 3/4 inch reducer, and then it has a threaded 3/4 inch thread to a 3/4 inch pipe. Now this 3/4 inch PVC pipe is 2 feet long. I picked it up. I did not cut it, and that's why I put it together looking like this ginormous thing. On the very end of this, I have the same adapter on the other, from the other side, a 3/4 inch to a 3/4 inch thread. This thread happens to screw right into the end of the hose. So I can screw the hose onto this and then run the hose to the sprinkler system, and the sprinkler system actually works, guys. It's kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and hook up the hose to this and show you guys how this connects, how it looks, and then we're going to start this up and I'm going to show you that it literally just works. All right, so we have our garden hose, and then we have this crazy little contraption that I just went over you with. This this big adapter piece is connected to the flat hose, 2-inch hose that you would pick up from Harbor Freight for the 2-inch trash pump. And it just screws right into the PVC pipe. And like I said before, the end adapter will go into a basic or a standard hose. And it just screws right on. No problem. Now this is a little loose. It does spray a little bit. It leaks a little bit, but it gets the job done. So let's go ahead and let's turn on the pump and see what we got. All right, so there it is. It seems to be working. I have the pump on low just for reference, but the pump seems to be working. It seems to be spraying just fine. Again, the garden hose, it leaks a little bit here, but it's just water from the pond, so I'm not too worried about it. The pump is on low, it's just idling, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it up and see what happens. All right, so I turned it up about a quarter way of what the pump is, and this thing is just pumping away. I don't see any issue at all. Guys, I think this is gonna work just fine for anybody's use. The big question is, if I take that off of there and then I hook up the normal, like the hand tool, I can't think of it right now, post it down in the comments, but if I hook it up to the hand piece and then I don't use it, what will happen to the pump? Does it have a bypass? Is it gonna break? But this is pretty cool. This works literally with doing nothing to the pump, and it pumps it right down into a normal hose and then right into a sprinkler system. Again, I seen this video posted on YouTube all over the place, but it didn't really address the simple question that I had. Will my pump do it without any modification? And the answer is yes. It seems like it is yes. All right, so now the question is, will it work with this? Will it work on and off? And what will happen if I don't use it and I just let it sit there? All right, so here's the deal. I have it hooked up to the hose. I'm going to start the pump on low, have the handle fully open, and see what happens. We know, guys, from the sprinkler system, obviously this is going to work. But what will happen when we take it off? That is the big question. Works just like you had your sprinkler system on, or your water pressure on, maybe low. All right, we're going to turn this off and see what happens. Nothing happened. The pump doesn't even change. It takes a minute for it to kick in. Pull it, and then it gives a minute, and then it'll start going. Let's go ahead and turn it up, see what happens. All right, ready? Let's go all the way. It's going so far. All right, turn it off. All right, so you might be saying, Justin, you're an idiot. I knew that. Like, we all knew that. I'm gonna say I didn't. I did not know that that pump would do that. So now I know, and hopefully you know, that you can hook up your 2-inch trash pump, or just, I'm gonna assume that you can go across the board with these type of pumps from Harbor Freight or whoever sells them, that you can go from that pump to an adapter to a normal hose, to a sprinkler system for irrigation. In this case, it is irrigation on some form. I need to water some grass and get some grass going. This means I can go over to my garden on this side and do that. And I can also, eventually, we're gonna be putting a garden over there, an actual like tilled garden with a tractor. And I could irrigate that too as well. This is a great little like find that I seen online, and I'm glad that I figured it out, and it went together so easy, guys. It was super easy. So now I can, I'm actually more happy that I can clean my 4-wheeler and tractor off here instead of doing it at home, so my neighbors don't get mad at me and my neighborhood when there's a mud river running down the road. So I hope this helped you out. If you had any doubts, or maybe you didn't even know that you could do this, go ahead and please consider subscribing to the channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about what I just did, about the pump or anything about the channel, go ahead and post them down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, get outside and stay safe.